What do you think about DJ's style? What does that mean to you, mixing styles and things like that? Because I was talking to Val about this too, about people's different. What do you think that is?
The style comes from the individual, who he is,
Yeah.
and how he goes about doing it.
Yeah. Long mixes versus short mixes. People who prefer long overlays to
Yes.
shorter ones.
Day and I played music records from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
I like to play music from beginning to the end, but I like to break them up. I like to change it. Also, bring songs in that are popular on top of other ones.
Yeah. Almost like mashups, right?
Yes.
Before there was such a thing.
Right. And during the time that all of us were alive, we used to. The competition was to see who had the longest mix,
Yeah.
and I think I can claim that.
Yeah. Longest meaning.
Where you start the song
Yeah.
to where it crosses over to the next one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm fascinated by that.
Mine is one of my most popular ones is Magic Bird of Fire and to get on the funk train.
Uh-huh.
That was very popular, and Dana used to do that. He did that in New York. He told me, sure, Conrad, I did your mix.
Yeah.
So we used to do that.
Now, did you keep blend books? Because Val talked about blend books, and that's another thing that I...
It's not blend books. It just wrote down the songs that we wrote, that we sang, that we played.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a few of those. I don't remember what I did with all of them. Dana wrote everything he did.
Yeah.
Everything. He had those. But they're just songs the way that we played them. And I used to go as far as the time of the evening and the date. And also I used to make a lot of music. I also made a living doing background music for the stores on Newbury Street. I did background music for Louis department store. I did fashion shows for Bonwood Tellers, the music for the fashion shows, and a lot of disco music for two hairdressing salons, Diego and Louise hairdressing salons on Newbury Street.
Well, yeah, because that's also something else. Before satellite radio and iPods and all that stuff, DJs used to make a secondary living by selling tapes to either other bars or, like you said, hair salons.
I made a living doing that for many years.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought of starting a satellite radio thing called Music Customize.
Yeah.
One big word, Music Customize.
Yeah.
And but I didn't follow it through because other things fell into my life. But I did make a large time, good living selling tapes to the clubs.
I kind of wish...
to the businesses.
Yeah, and I kind of wish we could go back to some of that, because I feel like there's this human element that's missing from things like satellite radio, right? I mean, there's a bit of a detachment to it.
Well, the way I saw it was, you go into a store and you hear music that you like. So it makes you stay in the store. And it makes you want to look through things. And, the music sort of highlights and then it peaks. And I found the perfect shirt for tonight.
Yeah.
So it enhances the moment and the place. And it's not just department stores. You do that with restaurants, with Starbucks, anywhere you go. You got to have this proper music for the people that come to the establishment.
Yeah. You're selling a fantasy of sorts.
Right, but you want to have something that you feel comfortable with, that you hear in the background, along to what you were doing.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to a library and listen to music,
Yeah.
because you're too busy. That's where you don't listen to music. But you go to a restaurant. You go, like a sample. You go to a Chinese restaurant and you hear rock and roll. It's not conducive to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
If you hear Chinese rock and roll, it might be conducive to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But still, you need to understand what it is.
Yeah.
And it makes you stay there longer and spend more money.
And you think DJs can be that kind of a taste, sort of like an arbiter of taste, or like a gatekeeper, or kind of a way of like...
DJs are that.
Yeah.
But the fact is, in the style that you do it, is if you have a big head or you just want to do your job. You know, if you know that certain songs are going to bring certain people to the dance floor and certain songs are not, you want to make sure that you are doing the right songs for those people.
Yeah.
And that's where your style comes in.
Yeah.
You develop a style depending on what you're doing, to what you're working at, what kind of atmosphere you want to develop in the room
Yeah.
that comes with you. And you could set the night completely by, you know, just picking the correct song.
So it's not just about playing what they want to hear. There is certain artistic sort of an element involved.
Yes, you have to. That's where your job comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always
Because
found
otherwise
that
you're
to
just
be
a
problem.
jukebox.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't want to be a jukebox.
No, but you can be a jukebox. And if you're a jukebox, it's okay. As long as the people are liking what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know.
But where does the artistic element come in then in terms of arranging and playing it though? I mean, is
Picking
that
the songs.
the sequence,
Yeah,
order,
just picking the songs.
the mix.
Picking the songs, even letting the song end and start a new one.
Yeah. Choosing the mix.
Choosing the mix.
Oh, like choosing the right remix. You know, I mean,
Correct.
because sometimes there are 5 remixes for a song, and only one of them is any good.
And that's what I mean when I play music. I play parts of songs,
Yeah.
or some part, the whole part of one song, and then went into something else and went back
Yeah.
and did all that stuff. That's
Yeah.
where you develop your style.
Yeah.
And you know, there are many times that you go to listen to DJs that have a steady, good job, and you could tell time by the song when it comes on.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried never to play the same song at the same time on the same day, everything. And I even remember taking records and I play this tonight and just put it away for the next night, even if people ask for it,
Yeah.
just to make sure.
Because there's enough music out there.
There's enough music, but you don't want to sound monotonous.
Yeah.
And people that go to the clubs, you know, go there every day, and they want to hear their song at their time, and specifically. And yeah, you could do that, but then everybody else notices, and then you become boring,
Yeah.
and then your job is boring.
Yeah.
You go there and I'm gonna do this, and no, it's
Right.
boring.
And they can feel it when you're bored.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, you're the liveliness of the room.
Yeah.
You're what they're looking up for.
It's a mysterious process to me. Because otherwise you would just have a jukebox. It would be like it was at the other side before Sam started playing records.
Yeah.
So something
And
changes.
at the 1270
Yeah.
table.
So something changes when you put a person
Right.
in charge of the music.
Of course. Yes, something changes. And also, it's not just putting a person in charge of the music. When you put music, things change.
Mm.
Because without the music, it's nothing.
Mm.
Music is what makes us.
But I find that when you talk to more current DJs who are still working, who started pre-internet, pre-iPods, pre-Pandora and all that stuff, the thing that, like Mary Alice said, was that she feels like she's a DJ on demand now, more so than she used to. I mean, she used to always get requests, but now sometimes she gets the feeling from younger people, especially when they come up and they want to hear something, that they want to hear it right now, or they want to know why you can't play it off their iPhone if you don't have it. So, like, there is a certain demanding kind of quality that has made requests a little trickier than they probably used to be.
Yes. Now, Mary Alice, where she works, she has such a diverse crowd from all over the world.
In P-Town.
That this is what she's up against.
Yeah.
Okay? And there, her style is what has taken that place to where it is, because she's aware of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember David LaSalle when he worked at the Boat Slip before a couple other DJs, and then Mary Alice took over. The DJ booth at the time used to be so far away from the dance floor that no one really could get at him. So he was able to play uninterrupted. As to where Mary is now, she's right there where she should be, on the dance floor, and she listens to all those people, and she knows exactly what is going on there. And it's not just the city people; it's just every week is a completely different crowd of people in Provincetown,
Right.
versus the city life.
Yeah.
The city life every week it's somewhat the same people,
Yeah.
but they're not from all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, like in P-Town.
Right.
And her style in compiling that makes her job even more difficult.
Yeah.
But then she has the regulars that come in, and those people just have a good time.
Well, I guess what a part of what I'm thinking is that the technology has made it such that people are more used to having a lot more control over their entertainment, meaning that they don't always want to give up though their night to just one person's sort of like taste or one person's kind of like program. And the requests have always kind of come from that place to some degree. But I feel like it's accelerated a little bit because people think you can just plug in their iPhone and play their song if you don't have it.
That's the first time I hear anything like that. But I remember when I used to play records, people that used to bring me records from other parts of the world, and they were very good. And I played them, not just for them, but to move it on, to start anew.
So you'd play records people would bring to you?
Most of them.
Would you just listen to them real quick and get a sense of...
Yeah.
So you weren't even sure what kind of intro they had or any kind of out or anything, like you would just play it?
Yeah. Ritmo de la Noche was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
That was a record from out of the States.
Yeah.
There was a lot of wonderful music, and they would bring him in. But I mean, it's not just that. Also, when the promo people would come in with the new records, we would put them on. It was the same thing.
So you'd play records cold, like you hadn't heard them the night before.
You hear a few beats and you skip through and you listen to them. Just when we went to the record stores to buy the music, we would listen to the beginning, the middle, and the end.
So you didn't even get a full sense of like the song structure or the melody or any of that sometimes, really. But you'd pick out melody sometimes, right, and go, "Oh, that's nice."
And we hear the downbeats and the beats that the beginning, the intro, how long before the vocals came in, and then listen to the middle of the song if we had a break or something, and then listen to the end if it was cold or faded out, or if it faded them singing, or if it faded instrumental.
Yeah. And did you not buy certain things if you didn't like the way they had?
We had to feel.
Yeah.
You just felt it.
Yeah. And you planned your sets? You didn't plan your sets beforehand? You would just go in and improvise every night?
Yes. Well, I practice at home mixes for certain records that would go well together.
You want to get those right.
But those necessarily did not fall into place during the whole night.
Yeah. Sometimes two songs you'd practice at home just to get that mix just right.
Oh, yeah.
And you would bring that and you would do it that night.
Exactly.
But everything else
was spontaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would go through the records before I went, because you couldn't carry all the records. Plus, if you left your records in the club, they usually got stolen.
Yeah, I heard all that.
And even in bins that were locked and sealed.
Yeah.
And I would go through records and pick songs and say, okay, I'm going to play this, this, and this, and this, and this, and along, I would bring 200 records to play maybe 65 or 70 of them.
Right. Yeah, what's even weirder now is with digital formats is that I have my laptop with my whole library of what I have with me, and it's thousands of songs. And sometimes I drive myself crazy because I'll be looking at what I have and I can't, nothing's registering because it's just too much.
Too much. And you don't know which one it is.
Yeah, and you don't always know which one it is.
When you have a physical record, you could see it, touch it, and know what it is.
Right. And you can make playlists digitally to narrow it down, and I do that too.
But even though you don't know where the night is going to happen, because every night is different.
Yeah.
Different people, different attitudes, different drinking, different stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's incredible. I mean, I always try to make every night different, regardless of what it took.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were certain songs that you had to play, and it came a point that you didn't have to play them anymore.
Yeah.
Because new ones took over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really something else. It was more involved, now that we talk about it, than it was. But the thing is too, I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
And so you're easier to adapt to change, at the time. And I tell you, there were the best times of my life.
Yeah.
Especially being with other DJs and now even more so that we're older and and wiser, and get to know what we really did. And this project is just incredible.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited
Yeah.
that we're getting to do this and more people coming forward. And I am like honored that you came and talked to us.
Very good. I am too.
And